In today's video, I'm going to talk about the debut album by the band Rammstein called Herzeleid. This means Heartbreak in English. So Rammstein will be releasing a new album very soon. So in anticipation of this new album, I will be reviewing all of their albums. I did something similar last year with the band Iron Maiden, where I reviewed all their albums prior to the release of the new one. Really, the band has never strayed from being controversial, and they've written worse songs. But so Herzeleid was released on September 25th in 1995, and this was during a time when industrial metal was very popular. But Rammstein played this very unique style of metal that was popular in Germany, called a New Deutsch Hart, kind of roughly translating to New German Hardness. The album was produced by Jacob Hellner. He was a Swedish music producer. He would eventually produce all of their albums. Now, at first it was difficult working with Jacob because there was like a language barrier, but they eventually hired an engineer to help with the communication between the band and the producer. Like I said before, the album translates to the word heartbreak. That was the general feeling of the band. Many of them were like ending relationships at that time. The album cover features band members like shirtless, and it did receive a lot of criticism from the press. Some were saying they looked like they were trying to portray themselves as like the master race. Others made comments like saying it was like gay porn. But the band members said, like, what's the big deal? It's just a picture. And for that reason, they did do an alternate cover for the North American version. I will put a little image of that right there. And the album has like 11 songs. Let me talk about them now. And all the songs were written by the band Rammstein. So the album kicks off, Wollt ihr das Bett in Flammen sehen? Which means, do you want to see the bed in flames? So this song starts with an intro. It builds up, followed by a heavy guitar riff. The song incorporates some electronic sounds prior to the first verse. Till Lindemann seems to have more of like a darker vocal style on this song. There are parts of the song reminding me of like the band Ministry, and they do some of those like faster blast beats. Second song, Der Meister, or The Master, starts with like a thrash metal style guitar riff, followed by a fast-paced drum beat. So the song is structured similar to many of like the other songs where they have the vocals in the verse and the drums in the bass, followed by the guitar riff. The chorus does have some electronic sounds, kind of reminded me a little of that like 80s goth music. And the song is a nice mixture of like synth and heavy guitars. The third song, Weißes Fleisch, or White Flesh. The song incorporates both the heavy thrashy guitar riffs and electronic elements. The song has a hard driving drum beat, and the vocals are very like a dark tone. And this is one of those songs where there's like a nice balance of those heavy guitars and the electronic sounds. And they do a breakdown after about 2 minutes, kind of remind me of the band Ministry again. They kind of do those like siren sounds. This is a pretty cool song. Track number 4 is called Asche zu Asche, or Ashes to Ashes. Now, this was one of the songs I mentioned in my collaboration video with the Chill Dude on the Couch. I thought it was one of the, I would say the best song on the album. Really shows a great snapshot of the band's sound, really great use of heavy guitars and keyboards, and really great like vocal styles in this one. So definitely a catchy song. It's very memorable, and so that's why I have that one here. Track number 5 is called Seaman, or Sailor. So this song is one of the ballads, and you really hear like Till Lindemann's like vocal abilities, where he does sing in like a softer style, and you could hear he can go in like a higher range, if the song calls for it. The song has some heavy guitars, but the playing is more of like an atmospheric style, almost like black metal. They kind of has like a whole wall of sounds kind of thing. The song also has a music video, and pretty cool. Rammstein have always put out great music. Track number 6, Du riechst so gut, or You Smell So Good. Very good song. Uses both the heavy guitars and keyboards. This one has a style similar to the song like Du hast. That's the one that was their biggest hit. That came on their next album. The song is cool, has a really nice beat and a kind of catchy guitar riff. Track number 7 is Das alte Lied, or The Old Sorrow. Now in this song, Rammstein plays like a slower and heavier, lots of chunky guitar riffs. You know, the keyboards are used more for like atmospheric textures, and the guitars are more in the forefront. And really cool, like a scream by Till Lindemann. Track number 8, Heartbreak, Mich, or Marry Me. Cool song, more focused on the keyboards, making this more sound closer to like goth rock. But the song does have the heavy guitars, and this is a very controversial song. So it's about like necrophilia. You know, the band has never strayed from being controversial, and you know, they've written worse songs, but this is one of them. This is on the Lost Highway soundtrack, and that was released like a few years later. I think I actually had that soundtrack many years ago, so it's probably like the first song I've ever heard from them. Track number 9, the title track, Herzeleid, means heartbreak. The title track, it's a slower paced, heavy riffs, and nice use of the electronic sounds. Really great vocal performance by Lindemann. He does some heavy screams in this one. Track number 10, Herzeleid, or Spawning Time. Another controversial song, kind of like describes like spawning by fish, but they do make references to like incest. So another song where they do kind of get a little controversial. It's a heavy song, heavy riffs, the blast beats, more like electronic sounds, and also more atmospheric breakdown towards the end. Final song is called Rammstein. This is the song titled after the band, also the first song written by the band. It's a really heavy song with a crunchy riff, kind of a slow, like a Black Sabbath style riff, with like the dark vocals of Lindemann. Actually, on this album, one thing I like is that they do tend to play some like slower songs. That was pretty cool. But the song has a sound reminiscent also of like industrial bands like Nine Inch Nails. They use those like heavy bass and, you know, the electronic elements, and this was all part of their sound that they were creating. Also a really cool guitar solo, and probably one of their better songs. This is one of the ones that I liked on this album. So in conclusion, definitely a good start for the band. Kind of shows off their signature sound. It's not really changed much over the years. And I think it's a strong debut album by a band, and they've released like a lot of good albums. So, like I said, I will be reviewing all of the albums in anticipation of the new one. And then I will be doing a review, which will probably be a collaboration with the Chill Dude on the Couch. And I will probably do a ranking video. So there will be a lot of Rammstein videos coming up. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one.